What is up, YouTube? This is Nanashi with a brand new BanList update video. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded any videos in a while, first off. I've actually been waiting for the BanList to drop and testing all kinds of new special engines and tech cards in a lot of my decks to try and make them more interesting. Also, I want to apologize in advance if I sound strange. The BanList was dropped at a very inconvenient moment in my day, so I literally picked the first room I could find to record this in. But that being said, I'm very excited about this BanList because it hits a lot of problematic cards. It did cause a little bit of collateral damage in a lot of archetypes I personally use, and it released some fun and interesting cards that I'm looking forward to seeing back in the game. Let's take a closer look. 6 cards total were banned on this list. Fairy Tale Snow is first. Honestly, I think we were all expecting Fairy Tale Snow to get hit on the ban list at some point. It was either going to go to 1 or banned, but I'm glad they banned it. That thing is a pain in the butt. Grinder Golem, though, I didn't see it very much. I can only assume it was part of some OTK strategy that had the ability to add it. I can only assume it was something like that one spell card that adds level 8 monsters to the hand, but I didn't see it enough to really notice that it would get hit. Galaxy Tomahawk was an iffy card. I didn't know if they were going to ban it or not. Yes, it produces 5 tokens for you to be able to use for link material and whatnot, and it's not as restrictive as Scapegoat. I just didn't know if it was going to get hit because of the small number of decks that could even play it. Heroic Champion Rongo Miniad, thank you and goodbye. That card was a pain in the ass. Not being able to play the game is one of the biggest problems with playing this game, and he was no exception. I was curious if they were going to hit 75 or him, but since 75 is so new and they seem to hate hitting new cards, it kind of made sense that they'd hit him instead. Gumblar Dragon, however, that one was obvious. Everyone hates Gumblar, everyone hates not being able to have a hand when they start their first turn. At least I would assume. I do feel bad for people who played Soul Charge, though. It was already at 1, and, well, it was too easy to rebuild link boards with it. 10 cards were put to 1. First was Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy of the End. With the reprint with the new errata, it made sense that this card would actually come back. And with the errata, it's actually a lot more fair. Cyberstein coming back to 1, though, I'm a little curious as to what that's going to cause. I know its ability, paying 5,000 life points to special summon something from your extra deck, is powerful, but I get the feeling that the viable targets for this card are basically just going to be scrubby cards that you can, in this day and age, out really easily. Dark Grepher, though, that one hurts. I already got hit with Armageddon Knight on my Dark deck going to 1, and I replaced the copies I missed with Dark Grepher. And now Dark Grepher's going to 1 means that I have to completely redo my deck to try and compensate. Shurit Strategist of the Necros, that one I'm actually happy about. I liked seeing Necros play. I liked seeing legitimate interactive ritual decks actually be able to participate in the game. Sure, it was a little too powerful at the time, but now that the game sped up a little bit more, quote-unquote, this deck that does not necessarily have to rely on the extra deck is perfectly fine to see play again, in my opinion. El Shaddai Construct coming back to 1. I still have fever dreams about this card existing way back when it had full power support and its escapist loop, but I think now with it only being at 1, it's perfectly fine. Brilliant Fusion? That one stung a lot. I know a lot of people that actually play Gem Knights, and plenty of people who use it as an engine. But with it still at 1, I think Gem Knights can still play it, it just won't be anywhere near as consistent. Gold Sarcophagus. That hit a lot of my decks hard. I used it in Dinos, I used it in Zombies, I had a couple ideas for a couple other decks I was going to put it in, and now I can't. But I get why they did it. Zap Dragons have ruined a lot of good cards for us. Magical Mid Breaker Field, that one caught me by surprise because I never see it played. If I understand correctly, it's because it interfered with the interaction of hand traps and a few other card effects that they were trying to sell money on. Scapegoat going to 1? Since they hit Galaxy Tomahawk, it makes sense that they would also hit Scapegoat, I guess. Slash Draw, that one hurt too. I had just gotten around to collecting quite a few of them in a little binder at home, and I had just gotten around to putting 3 of them in not only my 60-card Dark deck, but also my Beast deck as a test run, and now, just gonna have to take them right back out. Now, no cards were put to 2, which is fine. In a previous BanList discussion, you'll recall I mentioned cards that go to 2 are kind of on that weird limbo zone where they're awkward to talk about. But here's the cards that went to 3, and there's quite a few. Inzektor Hornet. Not that it means much now, but I think they have enough to play now, especially with their new Link monster. Wind-Up Magician? I'm not liking this. I still remember the Wind-Up Hunter hand depletion loop, and, well, they got rid of Gumblar but brought this back, so I'm really confused. I don't know, maybe with the other Xyz monsters still banned, it won't be as consistent. Necros of Brionac. I'm already happy to see Shuret back, though I kinda wish they had put Brionac back to 2 just to slow the start and then put it to 3 on the next list. But I'm not complaining because I want to see this deck function again. TG Hyper Librarian coming back to 3. I'm fine with that as well. Synchro play is on the decline purely because Link Era kinda screwed them over hardcore, and we still don't have Needle Fiber or Glass Fiber or whatever its name's gonna be. Evil Torm Exciton Knight. We already had it back at 1, it didn't do anything, so seeing it back at 3 kinda makes sense. Interrupted Kaiju Slumber coming back to 3. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. I can only assume that this is because of the new anti-kaiju hand trap, which makes sense. Limiter Removal coming back to 3. Pointing it out now, Cyber Dragons and Ancient Gears are gonna abuse that. They've already had it at 2, and you may not have seen it very much, but I'm just expecting it at this point. The Monarch Stormforth. This is another instance where I still have fever dreams of going up against Monarch decks, especially my wife. She ruled with her Monarch deck before the ban list hits. This card coming back to 3 allows them to perform a little better, but they're still not at full power, so I don't know, maybe I'm just a little overly cautious about it. Eradicator Epidemic Virus. I am terrified of this card. Absolutely terrified. Lair of Darkness has been a thing for a little while now, and now with it at 3, they can access it a little faster. Infernity Barrier coming back to 3, I'm fine with that. Infernities really aren't doing anything major except for one FTK link board thing, but I think that we're relying on Firewall Dragon. And that's the full ban list. This list goes into effect on January 28th, which is Monday, and I'm looking forward to where this game now goes with all these cards getting changed around. A lot of my decks got hit by this, so I'm trying to find a way to make it work better despite all the hits, and the second I find a new formula that makes the deck function better, you know exactly where to go to find out what it is and how it works. I thank you guys for tuning in to the first video of 2019, and if you're interested in sharing your opinions on the ban list, feel free to let me know. In the meantime, this has been Nanashi, signing out.